Hello everybody, Mike the pilot here. I'm here to give you some insights into your new aircraft, the Duke of Cornwall. So starting at the nose, things have changed around a little bit for the new aircraft. Some of you may have noticed that they used to have a searchlight under the nose there. That's now moved to the rear of the aircraft because in here we now have a weather radar, which is a handy piece of kit. It means that we can see things like thunderstorms and areas of heavy rain now as we're flying around. It helps us avoid patches of heavy weather, particularly when we're flying at night when it's harder to see, or if we're flying in cloud. It just means we can have a little bit more situational awareness about what the weather's doing. So really nice piece of kit. Moving down, the new aircraft is a little bit further optimized for flying at night. So we have some additional lighting on the aircraft, things like these door area lights, lights for sort of the rotor area at night, and we've also got a floodlight under the tail, and the tracker beam searchlight is now under the tail as well. So this just means that we have a little bit more illumination for our operating sites at night, and a little bit more ability for the crew to identify obstacles when we're getting in and out of some of these challenging sites during the hours of darkness. We've still got some of the things that work really well on the old aircraft, like the bare paws. They stop the wheels from sinking in sand and very soft mud, and things like the EAPs, the engine air particle separators. So again, really handy for landing in beaches or dusty car parks and things like that. What they do is separate the harsh particles out of the air like sand and things like that, saves it going through the engines, and increases the engine life and health of the engines. On the engines, the new aircraft has operated engines, so to speak. All the hardware on the engines is actually the same, but the manufacturers have sort of raised the power limits on the engines for this new aircraft so that we're actually able to deal with hotter temperatures that we find in the summer without sacrificing payload. So it means that we can carry extra fuel mainly, give us a bit more range and a bit more flexibility when we're taking jobs. Occasionally we might have to say, you know, we've got to go and refuel before we can take a particular task in, but this just means that generally, even during the summer months when due to the higher temperatures the engines are working quite hard, we can actually operate, you know, right up to the limits of the payload most of the time, take plenty of fuel, which is always a good thing. Working our way along, this aircraft still has the floats just like the last one. We operate over water quite a lot, particularly to and from the Isles of Scilly, so having the floats is definitely a massive bonus. And then carrying on down, probably the main way that you can tell if the air ambulance is landing near your house or in your town somewhere, and you're thinking, is this the first aircraft or the second? Is it the Duchess or the Duke? Then the main way you can tell the difference is by these, the tail fin and the horizontal stabilizer. So the first aircraft just has a more conventional horizontal stabilizer with some little end plates on it. This has these larger tilted over ones, and also an extra fin. If you come around here, it's got a little spoiler on the tail here, which helps to basically offload the tail rotor. It kind of, any airflow that's washing down here gets turned around the tail and directed out that way in the same way that the tail rotor is working. So that helps to reduce the power requirement of the tail rotor, which frees it up to the main rotor, which is what's lifting the helicopter in the air. And also the extra aerodynamic refinement actually improves the hover and low speed controllability of the helicopter, so it makes it just a little bit more docile and predictable in the hover, particularly when you're hovering near buildings like the hangar or near trees, landing in roads and cuttings and things like that. Just makes the helicopter a little bit sweeter to fly, and it's small but noticeable. For the new aircraft, there's also been a couple of small changes in the cockpit and the cabin, little things that we've optimized in the time that we've had the previous aircraft. So now we've got the Lucas device, which is a sort of automatic CPR device. We can keep that behind the seat now, saves it going in the boot. We've also got a little shelf here just for general storage, and the crew have a sharps bin handy in the cabin. In the cockpit, a few little differences. The switch panels are actually configured slightly differently, but just optimized a little bit. You know, they're sort of laid out more sensibly side to side. We also now have a VHF FM radio, which is a really handy upgrade, something that we've wanted to get our hands on for a little while now. It basically means we can talk to the Coast Guard rescue coordination centres and Coast Guard teams on the ground, lifeguard teams on the ground, even mountain rescue. It just gives us additional interoperability and multi-agency capability, particularly landing on beaches, and with all the work we do with the Coast Guard, it's really handy. And then the weather radar that I was talking about before, we can now display on this big screen here, so when we're flying around and there's thunderstorms about, we can actually see it all on the screens and work our way around. So as with the old aircraft, the main way that we interface as the pilots with a lot of the new systems is through these touchscreen units. So all of the systems are based in there now, minimises all the additional switches and controls. So the lights, for example, are all on here. Lots of extra additional lighting, nice and easy to use. The VHF radio we can get to nice and quickly through there if we want to talk to the Coast Guard or lifeguards. So the multifunction display again keeps a lot of information at your fingertips, nice and easy to get to. At the moment I've got this set for the weather radar, but you won't see anything because we're on the ground. But I can also set that for terrain mapping, which you can see there. I can set that for traffic awareness as well. So once again, we'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who was helping to bring the second aircraft to Cornwall in the Isles of Scilly, from all the pilots, physicians and everyone at the charity. Just thanks for everything you did, and it's here now and we're going to put it to use.